Hey everyone, welcome to Enchanted Chatter. We're excited to see everyone or talk to everyone this week. I don't know what I'm on today. It's been a week.
It's been a long week.
It's been a very long
Like
week.
yesterday, we got home for the second time, and I was just like, "How is it only Tuesday?"
Yeah. But we will be joined shortly by a guest, so we are very excited for that. Enchanted Kim will be joining us tonight to talk about her top 8 finish last weekend at, I'm drawing a blank of the name of the event, but it was the big tournament. Oh, speaking of, even better, perfect timing.
She can tell us what it was called.
Hey, Kim, how are you?
Hello.
Don't mind my hands. I got off of work and I did blue hair color.
So much fun.
Yeah. I love that.
All right.
How are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. It is really warm here in Washington for some reason. No rain.
You can blame it on us. We probably sent it from Texas. So I apologize.
Yeah, it's like 98 outside right now.
Oh my gosh. And I'm here complaining that it's like 80.
Well,
for you, that is hot though.
Like, yeah, it's pretty hot for us. We're not used to it.
Like, that's like hundreds for us.
So what tournament were you in this weekend? Because it's been a week and I'm drawing a blank on the name of the tournament out there. It was for a larger convention, right?
Yeah, so it was for Geek Fest, and it was one of the first ever Ravensburger supported events in North America, post like nationals or continentals, whatever it's called. So that was pretty cool to have like Ravensburger support with convention playmats, and then there were 2 uncut sheets at the event. So that was pretty cool, and we had a pretty decent turnout. I think overall about like 80 people the whole weekend, just kind of like going in and out from playing side events into the main event, all that fun stuff.
Oh wow,
I love that. And you played in, it was a 2K, 8K? I don't know why.
I think it ended up being a 2K. It was supposed to be like a 2 to 4K depending on attendance. I think it ended up being about a 2K.
And how many people did it end up being?
I think it ended up being 40 people exactly, which was nice because it made like no buys, very clean numbers.
we always like clean numbers.
Right.
Much as we love a good buy, it is always much better when everybody gets to play matches and we're not.
Someone's not just sitting there for the hour, just like, what do I do?
Right. It was pretty cool throughout the whole tournament because it was 6 rounds. Not that many people dropped. I think like for the most part, like most everyone like stayed through the whole like day 1 tournament, which was really cool.
That's awesome. That's good to see. Did they have like prize support to sort of incentivize that?
Yeah, they had so you would get tickets for participating in the main event, which you could use at the prize wall, kind of similar to DLC vibes. Which also like they had a pretty cool prize wall with a bunch of different sets, products from those sets. Nothing from like First Chapter or Rise of the Floodborn, but still a lot of like Reign of Jafar, Arcacia's Island, Azurite Sea. I think it went as early as Shimmering Skies.
And
then
so
like
basically
the portfolios, card sleeves, all that fun stuff.
Kind of post-rotation prize wall.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. It kind of did incentivize people. I was like, oh, the longer to play, the more tickets you potentially earn. Because it wasn't necessarily like cash, like even though it was a 2K, it was like all of that was the value. Because essentially like each ticket was, or 100 tickets, which was like 1 ticket, was $5.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I know a lot of events, and I'm assuming there could be some overlap in wow, I cannot speak tonight. I really Ravensburger not doing as many like cash events. So I'm not surprised that it was more of like a prize wall situation.
I love prize walls, so that it makes me feel like a little kid at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah,
But I'm always like,
exactly.
which one do I want? Ooh, I like that thing. How many tickets do I need?
I know. I finally got one of those Lilo gift box sets. I haven't bought one this whole set. I don't know. People kind of know when it comes to set releases, I rarely ever like buy things. I kind of just am like, if I find it, then it was meant for me. And I never found a Lilo gift set. It's so they had a prize wall.
Some of the Lilo gift sets, depending on where you were actually kind of harder to find.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We were looking around us. It seemed like they were everywhere, but then we had like some friends that they were like, we can't find these. And we were like shipping them.
Yeah,
it's like we could even get them just at like I probably go down the road to Target right now and
oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm sure maybe like more recently if I like looked back at stores, I'm sure they have them now. But initially I was just like, oh, they didn't have them at any stores, and then I just kind of forgot about it, and then I look at the prize one, I'm like, oh, like I could use my tickets for that because I didn't have one yet. I haven't opened it yet. I'll do that probably on Ice Cream Social tomorrow. We'll see.
I love that.
Bless
so I have this cute picture of you from the event. I love it. It's me to start it off. And then your deck list. So I'd love to chat about your matchups throughout the day 1 and day 2 in Top Cut. And a little bit about your deck.
Really quick, going back to the other photo, the one that was me, there's some funny lore behind the photo that I didn't realize until I posted it and like was using that for everything. So in the background is the opponent that I beat in top 16 for the playmat. And I just feel bad that it's like they're just in the background.
It's the photo that goes around and it's like, yeah, and this guy right here.
Oops. Yep, I kicked his butt.
Right, because you know it's that situation of I feel like it's the equivalent of when you play at a set champs and you get to the finals and because there's no like second place playmat anymore, it's just like like it just hurts so much more. That's what it felt like for it's like you made it to day 2, that's so cool, but you're kind of like it doesn't really matter.
You still don't get it. It's not over yet.
Yeah.
Right. Like top 8 was the ones that got the playmat. And so it was kind of one of those, it's just like, oh, this is the round that like truly mattered for a lot of people. Like for me, it was like if I hit top 8, like I'm set. I don't care how I do the rest of the tournament because that's all I wanted.
That's totally fair.
Right. But I just feel so bad looking at the photo. I was like, oh, he's in the background and it's the photo that's everywhere. But they were really nice, so I'm sure they're fine.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They probably didn't even notice.
Yeah,
you pointing it out is probably then they'll be like, wait, is that me?
I don't think they're huge social media people, so maybe they're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't notice. If they don't notice, that's fine with me. It's gonna be awkward if I run into them at set champs on Saturday. We'll see. I'll be like, oh hey.
At that point, you just gotta embrace it and like do really well at the set champs, then have him in the background again, but just like keep him in the background of every photo.
Right. Oh, that'd be really funny. I like that. I'm gonna start doing that probably.
So I have your match list pulled up. So round 1, you played a Ruby Amethyst opponent and went 1-1. So was the format 2-game format?
Yeah, unfortunately, it was 2-game format, and it was decided upon before.
I'm glad to hear that you also feel the same way about two-game format.
Yeah, I used to be like I think 2-game format. It was really funny when they first announced it because I was like, oh my gosh, Ravensburger is in their like pick me era. They're like, I just want to be like a different girl, not like other TCGs. So I love that for them, and I think initially when I was first getting into playing Lorcana, I liked it because I feel like a problem that happens is dice roll matters a lot. So 2-game format was like, oh, like you both get a shot, but then as I've gotten into it more competitively, I'm like 2-game format sucks in terms of tiebreakers and like bubbling out way worse, like the math.
The math is really rough with the 2-game format. I feel like I also feel just so unsatisfied when I split because I just want that last match so I can see like am I gonna beat the deck or not?
Right.
It's
And
leaving it
so
unfinished.
yeah, it's unfinished business, you know. I just don't like it. I do like 2 game format though when it's like casual league vibes, and I'm just
Mhm.
like,
Yeah,
oh, I
I
can
can
like
play
see
my aggro something, and I either
right.
win or I don't, and okay, whatever.
Right,
Low,
and like I
low
get to see
stakes.
more friends, I feel like, and also like the day just goes by faster versus like 3 game. I'm like, I'm over it, especially if you're playing like a faster deck. You're like, there's too much of a gap in between. I'm ready.
Exactly.
In this matchup, how did you feel in the game that you lost? What kind of was the turning point in that game?
So it was kind of tough because it was actually another like fellow girly pop from my locals, and so getting paired into each other is always the worst feeling where you're like,
It
I'm at this
really
game
is.
and of course, like first round, I'm paired with someone I know. Like, what are the odds? Especially like just another girly pop. It's like, why? This feels low key kind of like a hate crime, but whatever. We move on.
It was intentional.
It was intentional. They just didn't want to see us succeed.
The computer program was like,
It's out to get us.
Right. But I mean, it was kind of fine though because it helped like get the nerves out of like, oh, you know, in a big tournament and first round is someone I at least like am comfortable playing with. I'm trying to think. I feel like with that one I think was very heavily tied to the dice roll, and
That's fair.
I was like super strong in the very beginning of the game I lost, where it was like, oh, you know, turn 1, baby rhino, turn 2, giant rhino, you know, turn 3, Ariel. Or maybe I didn't play Ariel. I think I was like, I played Lawrence, and I just like never got an Ariel to like whole new world and just like ran out of cards. I think was the problem.
That makes sense. That's typically in that matchup. That's typically when I struggle the most, is if I don't see my whole new world or like a Rapunzel paired with Lawrence or some sort of good card draw to keep it moving.
Right.
I'm also a fellow Steel Girl player.
Yeah, so you're like, it's just like it's very 50-50 with that matchup, I feel like. Sometimes it's like you can take it, and sometimes it's like really grimy, and it's up to like, you know, the luck of the draw, and then sometimes you're just like, you ran out of gas with your card draw, and you just sit there and suffer while they brawl and be prepared your board.
My favorite matchup that I've ever had against a Ruby Amethyst deck playing Steel Song was, I think it was right after the One Drop Daisy came out, and I managed to get 3 out paired with 2 piglets.
Oh my gosh, okay.
And it was against one of my friends, and we joke that is like his Vietnam.
I was about to say, I was like, are you guys still friends?
Yeah, very, very much so. And he actually gave me the business last night at League. He has been on fire recently. He is definitely not hurting from that. But I like to humble him every once in a while.
If we can humble him, we must.
Yeah, you just have to.
Your second round match was against an Emerald Amethyst deck, which is actually currently what I've been playing a lot of. I really love this deck. And it's been fun to like spice it up because I feel like everybody's playing my Steel Song, so I feel like I gotta branch out a little. This matchup feels really good for you. I feel like you
so good.
It's just like you can pretty much answer every single thing that gets played. Were you also, I mean, I assume obviously one of the 2 games you were on the play versus on the draw. So did you find that you struggled on the draw at all?
On the draw, I got extremely lucky that I because you know with Amethyst Emerald, especially against this matchup, they're probably going to play Ursula turn 2, the Snatch Away a Song, and you know I had Whole New World with Naveen in my hand, and I had Storms, and they're like, you know what, we're going to take, like they played double Ursula on me just to like snatch my 2 songs. So eventually I was down to just Naveen. And they're like, you have this Naveen, whatever. Like, what do I have to worry about? I took your songs, and I was out of cards at this point because they had just like took those songs away. And I think I had also played Rhino again at this point, so that already is like extra card loss when it comes to like card advantage. But I top decked into a whole new world and just played it with the Naveen, and I was like, singers are ready to take care of all these evasive answers.
The cards were in your favor.
They were in my favor that matchup.
That's always that feels so good when the deck is on your side. It's always great when the deck is giving you exactly what you need. Chat asked a really great question. When you're playing against Emerald decks, how do you handle your mulligan if you aren't going in blind, obviously, on the mulligan?
I kind of just go with, I've learned this trick from a friend when I was like playtesting for day 2, because we'll talk about it later about like what I was paired into for day 2, round 1. But it is, I think, important to try to mulligan for double songs, or just like have all the songs, specifically inkable songs. Like if you can get double Strength of Raging Fire, or even just like, you know, a Let the Storm and a Strength, like you're solid, because it's like, oh, you're gonna take my songs? Okay, I have more.
This is very true. Ursula is such a menace.
I hope she doesn't get reprinted. Her and Cogsworth, the like grandfather clock one, I think are my 2 like least favorite cards in Lorcana.
That Cogsworth is an even worse menace, and
yeah, it gives word to everything, and if they play like more than one, I'm just like, I'm done. I concede.
On Monday night, on the Illumineers, they were
the photo.
I think they had 4 on board, and I was like, I literally would have just been like, I'm out. Like, bye.
Right. I always say it's like that whole meme that's like, if you know, I'm Cogsworth's #1 hater, if Cogsworth has no hater, then like I'm dead.
Yes. And speaking of Sapphire, we get to round 3.
Oh gosh.
This is, I mean, there's just Ruby Sapphire against Steel Song is absolutely brutal.
Specifically items. Oh my goodness.
Yes. I have a friend in locals that will not go away from item builds, and
it's his bread and butter.
A menace. But it's a menace that, at least in this set, I have found an answer that I've been enjoying, which is Beyond the Horizon.
Okay.
And I just opt to deck them out.
That's kind of what I want to do. I haven't figured out how to use Beyond the Horizon yet. I'm like, that's a next set problem, honestly, is where I'm at.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's like well-timed wheels and well-timed Beyond the Horizons are truly like the best that you can hope for in this matchup. Otherwise, it's really unfavored in the Steel Song matchup, and it just kind of is what it is. It stinks when you sit down. Like, it's always my least favorite like pairing to get in a tournament, because you just, I don't know, I personally always feel very defeated sitting down, which I know is like such a bad mindset to be in when you get to the table and you see your opponent. Like you're essentially playing your own mental game, but it is a matchup that I just have not figured out like what the lines are to make it a better. I think it's the one downfall to this deck.
Yeah, no, I kept playtesting into Sapphire Ruby in anticipation of like, you know, how's it gonna go? And I built this deck with the intention of, I think I'll run into some Ruby Sapphire, but my local meta is very big, like Amber Steel heavy, whether it's like the aggro version or the, you know, traditional song version, a combination. Beyond the Horizon.
You, Kim. Hello, Stella. Stella.
She made an appearance.
She does not belong in that office, so I have to say something. Ignore the demon in the room.
She's been attached to me since yesterday. Oh, she's like not letting me out of her sight. Sorry.
All good. But I was kind of teching this deck specifically for the mirrors.
Okay.
Because I think if I was going to play against like a very heavy Ruby Sapphire, I probably would have added in daisies. Or, you know, if I knew it was going to be items, I probably would tech in like a Find Them, I Flatten Them. I don't know.
Finding My Platinum is, it's so hard to decide to put that in your Steel Song deck because it's a wasted spot. Like if there were sideboards, I think it might feel better because you could just swap it out. But because there's no sideboard in Lorcana, and if anyone watching doesn't know what a sideboard is, it's essentially a set of cards that you're allowed to swap in between your matchups in a round. So
it goes in kind of like you'll have your deck list and then you'll have your sideboard list. So they know that you can't just like take whatever cards.
So it just feels so bad using a spot up in, your 60 to 62 cards for Steel Song. And I say 62. I'm sure people are rolling their eyes at that. Yeah, I think you can go up to 62 with Steel Song if you're playing wheels. And sometimes I like
wheels. You almost kind of need to, because if you play in a mirror match, you need a little extra cards just so that you have.
Right.
That's exactly why in mine I typically do.
I do the same thing in Ruby Amethyst. I run 64. I'm a crazy person.
It's all good. 64 is still a nice number. You have 4 extra cards for consistency.
Yeah, I get on the draw, and then they wheel me, and I'm not sweating.
Yeah, you're like, whatever. Let's wheel me, bet.
And then your last 2 rounds of day 1, you were just golden. You were on fire. 2-0, both of them.
Oh gosh. The 2-0 against Amethyst Steel, they actually conceded to me because they were really nice. They gave us a lunch break. They're like, oh, after this round, like we'll have 20-minute lunch break, which was really nice. I love when tournaments provide that. And it was kind of like, but if you finish your round early, like that's extra time for you. And at this point, I think I was on I was on the draw, and I just like already wheeled them twice and had just like a way bigger board. And I think which is kind of crazy because I only had, I think, like 7 lore at the time. So it was pretty early, but they kind of saw the writing on the wall and they're like, you know what, like I'm done. I'd rather have more time for lunch. Like, here you go. Because our first game was fair.
That's also Steel Song against like Amethyst Steel is a pretty hard matchup for them. I know we have a friend that we play locals with, Chelsea, who is always on Amethyst Steel, and she hates getting paired into anyone on Steel Song.
She literally sits across from her, and she's just like, why?
Oh, that's my reaction. The Ruby
last
Sapphire.
night, I was super excited. She asked to borrow my Steel Song deck, so she gave it a try for 1 round. I don't blame her that it was only 1 round of League because it was against our friend who plays only item build Ruby Sapphire, and I was like, I'm sorry, this is not
the one that you want to practice it.
But she took 1 game, so it definitely wasn't bad. They could have been much 1-1. And what Blurple did you play against in the last round of the day?
It was interesting. It was one I have not seen before. It was like a really interesting like Aladdin build deck with like the lamp and genies and Jafars. It was weird, but I didn't really get to see, how magical it was because I don't think I sent the photo over. But someone took a photo of this, and I felt really bad because obviously, like, judges have to be very, like unbiased. They can't show any favoritism. Yeah. But like, judges would walk by and they would see the board set and they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, this is not real." Because let me see,
you just went wide. I'm assuming you just had.
Oh, it was crazy. My opponent had no board, and you would have thought that I was playing Sapphire with how much ink I had. And I think I had like 14 glimmers.
That's the one thing that is nice about playing against Blurple is they might take your character away, but they're going to give you a lot of ink.
Yeah.
You could let this, let the Storm Rage on. You can Hades my cards. That's great. I don't have to ink now. I love this for me.
Right. I was like, this is fine. And so I felt kind of bad, and it went that way for like 2 games, especially when I was able to wheel. I was like, I don't really care that you got a bunch of cards. Like, sure, you're inking But it's like, now I have all these characters. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I can only Hades so much.
I think that that's like the biggest downfall right now of like the meta and Blurple into a lot of Steel Song. It's really hard once you establish your board state for them to answer anything.
Yeah. I think the only issue I've ever run into is if they have like a bunch of Monstro. I feel like that hurts. If I have a bunch of my singers exerted, it's like that monster's just eating, and I'm like, that's great. We move on.
And then day 2, it was cut to top 16.
Yeah, top 16.
That's very nice.
It's very nice.
And how did you? I know you talked a little bit about prepping for your day 2. What exactly did you do to kind of prep and test that night for day 2?
Step 1, be anxious. That was what I did all night. Be anxious. Be anxious and stressed. I was driving, so the event was at Everett, and I live like an hour away from that, and I didn't want to pay for a hotel. So if you guys know Lorcana Librarian,
you don't want to. I don't blame you.
Yeah. Sarah Lorcana Librarian was staying with me, so I felt like the whole drive home was just being like, because they luckily announced that they were going to post the deck list, so it was going to be open deck list. So I was like, okay, I can have her or have them, like, when we got home, they can build the deck, and we'll like run into it. But literally the whole drive was just a lot of like, all right, this is Amber Steel, like, how do I play into this? What should I prep for? And then by the time I got home, the deck lists were posted. We built the deck, just practiced it a bunch. And then I tried to go to bed. I couldn't. I think I ended up only getting like 3.5 hours of like sleep. And up until the tournament, like in the later hours, I was just, because my opponent did play on stream for day 1. I didn't play on stream, so they didn't see how I play. But day 1 they did play, and I was kind of studying how they play, because I feel like that says a lot of like, like
you can see their style.
Yeah, like I noticed my opponent is someone who is not like super aggressive when it comes to questing. So I'm like, oh, that's great, because if I can get like enough removal in there, like it will be hard for them to catch up because they didn't go super aggressive questing initially, and I can like catch up from there. So like little things like that, just noticing. And then in like the super hours early in the morning before leaving for the tournament for day 2, I had a different friend build the deck, and we played online games like through webcam and like talked through the plays, and I started to feel more confident because I started to like consistently beat it, and I was like, okay, cool, like I feel okay. I feel better going into day 2.
And were you I assume that for top 16 it was seeded pairings, so if you were ranked higher, you were on the play. So were you on the play or on the draw for that game?
I was on the play, and it was kind of funny because so for round 6 of day 1, I actually got to intentionally draw. And it was with that same player that I ended up being paired into.
Oh my god.
So we did a dice roll for who would get to report like who won the second game versus the first game. And I won the dice roll. So luckily it ended up working out in my favor that I got ranked higher, because I was 7th and they were 10th. So I was on the play, and honestly it was kind of like, I did not think I was going to win, because first game, as much as I prepped, it did not go in my favor. Like, they shifted onto Pete super early. I had no removal. They Ursula'd me to remove any removal I had in my hand. It was bad, and I was like, oh gosh, no, this does not feel great. But then game 2, so I got to be on the play again, or I chose to be on the play again, and I took it. Like, that one was a very, like, there was no defeating it. Like, I was able to, remove their Diablo super early before it was exerted. Even though they peated me, I was like, I'm just going to keep playing bigger characters that, you can't bounce with muses eventually. So a lot of great stuff. So then game 3, they were on the play. They chose to be on the play. And it was definitely a nail biter. It was definitely one of those where, like, I was top decking, but I think that kind of goes into the strategy against Emerald Steel discard is, you kind of just want to be in a position where you set up your singers and high strength characters the best that you can, or ideally like high strength characters that are also, 3 cost and above, or high strength, while also like inking as much as you can, so that, because at some point, especially if they're on the play, they're gonna set up Prince John, they're gonna like play a sudden kill and all these things, and it's like, well, if you don't have anything to discard, it's not going to benefit them. Yeah. And I have an inkwell that is built enough so that if I top deck something that is, something like Ariel, where it's like a 6 cost and I didn't have the shift, like I can play that. Or, like Beast, where it's like, if I can play that on 5, like top deck that, is like, it's going to be really hard for them to remove it.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And I think that's a great strategy in that matchup. I also have always found that matchup feels better when you're on the play. So for so you lost round or the first
Game
match.
1, yeah.
And then you actually took one on the draw, which is a lot harder.
Yeah. Very, very cool that I got to do one on the play and one on the draw. Did not expect that. And it was one of those, like, they were, I think, at like 17 lore, and I was at like climbing my way up from 10, but I managed to like remove their whole board, and I had a wider board, and I top decked into a Rapunzel, which helped me like draw more cards versus like they had nothing. And so eventually I just like took it, and it was interesting because like a judge was there watching, because we were one of the last people to still be playing, and they were watching, and they were like, oh my gosh, like after the fact, they're like, I wasn't sure who was going to take it, because it was already like, you both were top decking at that point. Yeah, because they were top decking too, because I had empty my hand, so they couldn't discard to like draw any cards realistically.
Yeah, that's the thing I feel like playing against the Emerald Steel is, if you don't have cards for them to discard, then they stall out very easily. So if you have things where you can catch up, once they're stalled out, you can pretty comfortably catch up or get just enough ahead.
Yeah. So it worked out, and then they were like, GG's, and I was like, no way, did this just happen? And I had a friend who like looked at me, because like I looked up because like I had finished, and they were kind of like, did you do it? Like, yes, no. And I was like, yeah, and I just like started crying. I was like, oh my god, I did it.
And obviously your next round did not go as well. It
was the same person that I faced in day one.
The same person as day one. That's always the worst.
So like, I already knew. I know, I already knew, but I was very like content.
You played on stream. I was able to watch that match on stream, and I mean, you played as well as you could in that matchup. There was definitely not anything that I saw that you could have done that would have changed the results. I think it's just a bad matchup.
Yeah, and I think that's why I felt like kind of bad, because they kept, wanting me to be on stream in day one, and I was like, no, I don't want to, because like I don't want to lose on stream. I don't feel confident. And then, but they're like, no, it'd be so cool if you're on there. Like, we want more women on stream, and I'm like, I get it, but no, I don't want to lose. But I did like understand the sentiment, and I had created a stipulation of like, okay, I'm playing into day 2. If I pass, like if I make it into top 8 because I won my top 16 round, no matter what, I will play on stream. And I slightly was like, dang, I'm going to be playing to my worst matchup. But I also felt okay, because I think everyone kind of knows that it's not an ideal matchup.
Yeah.
But if I lost, people wouldn't be like, oh, Kim, you suck. Like, it was kind of like a...
Like, I wasn't expected.
As someone else who's been on stream for a large tournament, I was on stream round 1 for DLC for Fort Worth, and I had the pleasure of playing the Rat, who had just won Chicago, and was also terrified because I didn't want stream picking me apart. I also had a feeling I wasn't going to do great, because also hadn't been playing competitively that long. So I think it was actually a good experience to play on stream, because I feel like now, like, that took away a lot of the nerves that I get for larger tournaments, because it always worries me, like, oh no, am I going to get picked for stream? Like, I don't want to lose on stream. Like, I don't want people to see me lose. And like,
right,
really everybody loses. Like, it happens. Like, there's no way you're going to win every single game you play in a TCG. And I think when you can like accept that and kind of move past that, it like helps just your playing in general.
Right. And I feel like now that because I played on stream one other time at a big tournament. This was at Pretty Good. And that one I won. So that was nice. I was like, cool, I'm a decent player. But now that I've like lost, I almost feel more comfortable because it's like, oh well, I did it and people didn't think I sucked. So now I'm like, I'm willing to be on stream a lot more. I think it's how I'm feeling, and I've said this somewhere, I don't remember where, but I always think it's important to have that representation. Like, even if I didn't do well, it was like I was still in like the top 8 stream, and I think that's an accomplishment itself to be like, hey, I didn't do well in this match, but like I still did well enough to like make it into that match.
Absolutely.
And I feel like it's important to showcase like more, you know, people that look like me, that it's like, oh, it's their first TCG and they like to be cute and you know, have fun. I don't know if you saw on stream, like I was just trying really hard to make my opponent laugh because they're like a very like serious player, and I was like, I'm gonna like make you laugh. That is my goal for the stream.
I love that. As someone that also was playing against somebody and they're really serious and looked really nervous, and I was just like, I'm just going to start making jokes. I'm just going to be louder until you start laughing and you relax.
Yeah, exactly.
Your energy is making me nervous, and we're going to be excited and happy.
Right, and I know the player I was playing against on stream, and they're normally like pretty like relaxed, and understandably like they're new to playing on stream as well, and
yeah, that adds a whole other element of anxiety.
They were like so tense that I was just like, homie, you're playing Ruby Sapphire items. The likelihood of me winning is not that high. Calm down. Take it down a notch.
Yeah. I hate that I'm about to share this comment on stream, and I want to say it was planted by someone's husband.
Okay.
What is your take on the Troubadour Ursula Vanessa split, and what made you pick Troubadour over Ursula? And I'm ignoring the second half of it.
Oh no, the second part is the most important of the questions.
I don't know what the second part really means unless I'm
Nathaniel Flint.
Okay, so this is a card that Bri thinks is truly the best card and should be put in all amber steel deck.
He's like Smee, but
I'm gonna look up Nathaniel Flint right now. But that reminds me, because there are plenty of cards that I feel like are slept on for Amber Steel. Like, have you ever played Peppa in an Amber Steel deck? The new one?
I've seen it.
It's basically like song or like flutes, but like on a body. It's kind of crazy. And
listen, Nathaniel Flint is basically Smee. He's just better because he doesn't take damage at return.
But you have to damage another character, or your
Steel Song
to play him.
Your Steel Song, you damage everything every turn.
And heal, yeah.
If you're playing it right, then Nathaniel Flint can be just a free card.
But on the serious note of the question, I feel like this is like a very solid debate of which is better, Troubadour or Vanessa.
Okay, so
also side note on Nathaniel, he is also a captain. So your Smees, you get them out, won't take damage, so it makes Smee also better.
Or it also, yeah, it pairs with Smees, yeah.
See? I'm gonna get one person on my side. Yeah. Eventually, other than my husband.
Eventually. I'll have to try it. Maybe in my fun princess deck. I'll be like, Nathaniel Flint, get in there, protect the princesses. So why Troubadour over Ursula? So I originally used to play a split of Troubadour and Ursula because I was like, oh, Ursula's great because it's 1/4 and it's a really good setup for Rapunzel. But then who I was like testing this deck because they were like, no, Troubadour that's the spice. And I was like, but why? Why'd you cut out Vanessa? And realistically, like looking back on it, this wasn't like necessarily part of their reasoning, but for me, it's like, I feel like it's kind of rare that I get Rapunzel to like legitimately pull off. Like, it's great. It's a great like tool in the deck. But it's not that often that I like realistically can't get Rapunzel to pull off because I feel like on turn 4, I'm more than likely to play Rhino on its own because Rhino on its own is like amazing. or a Naveen or aerial shift with this deck. So it just is like, so having that Ursula like 3 damage potentially or 2 advantage is not as beneficial. Troubadour is great because it's super good in the mirrors, because you're not going to remove Troubadour really easily, especially super early. You know, even with something like Strength or Storm, like it's just not going to go away that fast.
I think that's very valid. In the mirror, I definitely would rather have the Troubadour than Vanessa.
Right. Like, to get rid of Troubadour, you essentially have to use a Zeus. And it's kind of lame to be like, I used a Zeus on Troubadour over, you know, something like Smee or Lawrence.
I like that you bring that up, because a lot of the strategy that I'll use sometimes, and even when I'm playing against like Steel Song or other people are playing against my Steel Song, is I want my opponent to use their removal on quote unquote bad stuff. Like, I want you to have to use a Zeus on my Troubadour and not be able to use it on something that I want out on my board later.
Right,
I think that's
or something.
Yeah, I think that's a really like important play mechanic to like learn and try to like get them to take out stuff with those actions and not have them later in the game for better, like more meaningful plays.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, and Troubadour, like not even just in the mirrors for Amber Steel, but it's like super good when you're playing against Amethyst Steel for the same reason with those removal Steel Songs. Plus, like Troubadour too is just really hard. Like when you do exert Troubadour, it's a lot harder to get rid of Troubadour because of resist. When your opponent like tries to challenge them because they have that resist, like I don't know, I'm bad at math, and so it's really funny when I get to confuse people with math of like, you can't take out Troubadour because resist 1. You forgot that like secret number.
That's how I also feel about the Shift Rhino.
Yeah. Oh like, no, like when they play Pete on me, I'm just like the captain or pirate Pete. Mm-hmm. I was like, what do you mean I can't take it out with my Zeus because it has resist 1? That's gross. That's too much math.
What so I know recently, and I don't know if you posted this on social or just in Discords, but I know that you kind of made this step from being a more casual player to like a purposeful, like you want to be a competitive player. So I think that this was your first big tournament after deciding that. What do you think you did differently from you when you were more casual to the more competitive mindset?
What changed was, I think, just trying to be in like in a mental state of taking it serious. I think so. Like a year ago when I first got into playing Disney Lorcana, I wanted to be competitive, but I think I quit that pretty quickly because I got overwhelmed, and this is more of like a personality thing with me. But I'm the kind of person, like, if I'm not good at something, I'm just like, this sucks, I don't want to like do this anymore. And I just like move on, and I think like that's why I wanted to like start like revisit that, because I was like, no, like that's not really healthy, and I should try to be a better person and like revisit, like be okay with failing. And I think like recently, because I've had like a whole year to go from learning the basics to like now it's like, okay, I have like a better understanding. It made it where it was a lot easier to understand, and I was a lot less frustrated. And leading up to like big tournaments, I have like whenever I'm free, while it's like a long car ride or like at the gym, like I'm just listening to meta, like those meta videos of like, here's what to expect, these are what these decks do. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I feel like it comes from a lot of confidence that is built up as well. I feel like back in the day I was a lot more shy versus now. I don't know if I did it on stream, but like a lot of my matches at Geek Fest, I was like looking at my opponent's discards, like politely asking like, hey, can I look through your discard? But like doing a lot of that and like thinking about like really thinking through like, okay, my opponent has played 3 whole new worlds. The likelihood that they have a 4th one is really low. So like I don't have to worry about like me wheeling me out anytime soon. Things like that. And just like getting more into that mindset of like thinking about like what my opponent's doing, what can I do, how can I set myself up like turns in advance. A lot of that. And
Absolutely.
a lot of the strategies, like the strategies I talked about when playing against Emerald Steel, like being like, I need to ink and not have cards in my hand because they're just going to discard, and like be okay with top decking because that's the strat.
What would be your biggest piece of advice you would give somebody who's making that change, going from casual to competitive?
Biggest piece of advice I think is supporting yourself with like just a really good support system and group of friends. I think that was also what changed a lot for me from when I first like tried to play competitive to now is I just have like a way bigger support system. Like I think even just sharing how things were going for day one and seeing all the support from that was like, oh my gosh, I feel so motivated that like I can actually do this. And like I think that just like helped me feel more confident going into day two and playing the rest of my matches. So I think like that's the really big thing. Like sure, everyone says like practice and listen to things, but I think legitimately like having that like really positive headspace for yourself is just so important and so critical. Because I think it just makes where even when you don't do well, you're kind of like, well, my friends still think I'm great, and that's healthy, Because sometimes like I kind of notice this sometimes with people that are like really competitive, and when they take it really personal, they're kind of like they don't seem to have a lot of like friends. Like that seems like they're the kind of player who no big shade at them, but it's like sometimes how do I describe them? Like that competitive player where it's like they take it so serious that it's almost like they block people out because it's almost like a distraction to them. And you kind of notice like when they lose, it's like the end of the world to them. Like this is like the player that most likely will like crash out. And you're like, dang, I don't want to like be around that. And like that's not healthy versus like, oh, like if I lose, like, yeah, I'm a little sad, but I'm just like, oh well, like I have friends that are
better luck next time. Like, yeah, it's just I think that's also a good, healthy mindset to be in. I definitely have gotten better at when I lose. That was that match. Like I'm good. I still need to get better about it. Like in the day, like usually by the end of the day, I don't care. But in the day, like it definitely still will mess me up on the next round. And I'm still working on like the mental piece of the game. But I definitely don't carry it after that tournament. Like it's cool. I'm done.
My thing is it hits me whenever I keep seeing the same deck. Like one deck I do like just horribly into, and then the next round you get paired into it again, and then the next one, and then the next one. That happened to me the last big tournament I was at. What was it, like 6 rounds in a row? Different events at that point because I had dropped and went to side events and played in the 3v3. And still 6 rounds in a row, I played the exact same deck, like maybe variants of like 1 or 2 cards, but essentially the same deck.
I would just
my deck was not. I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to do well with that deck. I hope I get to just skirt it. And I was just like, at the end of the day, I was just like, I'm not having fun. I want to leave. And my friend Kirby was like, I got you food. And Jonathan came around the corner a little bit later after I took a nap in my car and was like, I won you a Labubu. And I was like,
oh my God. I love that. Was that at the PPG tournament?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I heard about the Labubu pods and I was like, I love this. I only like really recently got into Labubus. I got my first one and I was like, this is my child now. I have to protect it. Like it's so cute.
I have my Disney Labubu, and then I have a case of the big.
Did you get that? Did you end up actually getting the case?
Oh, we bought the case. It ships in. I don't remember what date in August, but it ships in August.
Okay, that was. I didn't know
if it actually comes in. I'll have one for me, and then others to do fun things with.
I love Labubus just being part of the Lorcana community. I see
it is so random.
It went from like, what's a Labubu? Then we went to PBG and like so many people had them on their backpacks, and I was like, honey, Marion's August 8th. Marion knows when they're coming in. She also ordered some the same day as me.
Right. Labubu gang is what I'm seeing in the chat. I love
that. Will be Marion. She is our Labubu queen. She's who introduced me and got me hooked onto these little creatures.
Disney Lorcana needs to make Labubu merch like ASAP. Like give me
pretty awesome.
Like those like t-shirts that have like Lorcana on it with the lore symbol. Like just give me that for my Labubu. Like make it happen. Imagine Labubus get merch before we do. Like I am so
that would be on brand though. You know,
it would be on brand. No.
Oh, lovely. Hello, Melissa.
Hi.
Hello, Alyssa.
I figured since, Enchanted Kim is on Enchanted Chatter today, I would say I saved my last box from the
nice.
raffle,
So we can open an Enchanted.
and I'm hoping that the vibes are correct. And I feel like they should
happens.
be.
When people open packs near me, it tends to happen, I've heard.
When Courtney opens packs, it tends to happen.
Okay.
Period.
So we're vibing.
So I figured I'll open while we talk through the rest of my list, which is I'm excited to do some fabled predictions. We have a bingo card that we're going to be sharing on social after the stream today. And I know, Kim, you're actually going to Gen Con.
So is Melissa. I'm so excited to see them. And maybe we'll take photos with our Labubu's.
Listen, I'm excited for PAX because I already, before we were even actually confirmed for going, I told TFM when they were here for PFG that we're going to PAX because it's turned into our semi-family.
Are you going to PAX West or PAX Unplugged?
PAX Unplugged.
PAX Unplugged.
I'm going to try to go. We'll see what happens. It depends on my schedule.
So much fun. We've literally gone the last 3 years. I went while I was literally about to give birth. Last week I was allowed to travel.
Yeah.
And was
the staff was afraid she was going to give birth.
I would be scared too. I've had that happen at the salon where someone's like, oh yeah. I'm doing 2 days and I'm like, this will be the fastest hair point of my life. I don't know how to deliver a baby.
Our good friend Bucky.
Bucky. I love when people would do funerals for Bucky at their leagues.
Oh, that was pretty great. Have you seen the promos for PAX? Or not PAX, Gen Con, I mean.
Yes.
That set 10? Yeah, set 10.
Mm-hmm.
Goofy is insane.
Yeah.
My favorite comment, though, is people saying, well, he dies to Medusa. I'm like, yeah, if she gets reprinted.
Yeah.
But if she doesn't.
I'm waiting for that meme to die. I'm tired.
Yes. Medusa. She might not be in our lives anymore, which would make me sad because my
your ladies in chairs.
My red ladies. My red lady deck would die, but it would just be reborn in Infinity, so it's okay. It would just shift over, but would make me sad. Kind of like my son right now, who you can probably hear in the background.
Legendary Scar.
Oh. Ooh.
We'll take it.
Are these English or are these
Japanese?
Japanese, okay.
Yes.
She got one of everything out of the UK.
Okay, let's take this a step back. Last time I entered a raffle for a Lorcano product, I didn't win it, and I was pretty sad. So I assumed I can enter all of these raffles. There's no way I would win them all. Joke's on my wallet.
Joke's on my wallet. I did not enter any because I was like, I don't need any product. I don't need it.
That's why I had to tell myself, I was like, do I want a Japanese Elsa Enchanted? Absolutely. I'd be stoked. That would be the only thing I could open that I would be happy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, at that point, I'm like, it's too much. But then also once I start with the Japanese Enchanteds, because we already have our one of.
Oh, that just means you'll have to get
set, then I'd have to get one of every Enchanted.
That's just starting.
And it's just too much.
No. That's how I feel with all the foreign language ones and promos. I'm just accepting that's I can't collect them all.
I don't think I'll continue, but I do have I have one of every Chinese first chapter, and then for Floodborn, I did one of every Japanese. And I was thinking that I wanted to do a different language, a one of for each set, but that just feels like a lot of work when I already am collecting English cards. And I think at some point, I am not allowed. There has to
be a stopping point.
Yeah, there absolutely has to be a stopping point.
Sometimes I feel like a fake Lorcana fan because I like don't strive to collect them all, and I don't know what that says about me.
I think it's more there's
I
something
think
wrong with the rest of the collectors because we're like Goblin Brain need it all.
Yeah.
Like I have totes of cards. Like literally totes of them.
In the corner of my office is my bulk. And there are 10, not like little boxes, large boxes of just bulk. But it's also because I won't let people throw out their bulk.
Yeah, same.
And we have someone in our community that gives it out. So I keep it until I can transfer it to him.
Nice.
So I brought her like a whole like giant diaper box full of bulk because I was like, here. And then I still have more that I haven't even like looked at. That's just stacked in stacks all around my office and in boxes and just everywhere.
Yeah, I need to figure out an art project for bulk because I just feel so bad that it's there and I don't want to throw it away, but I don't have that many ways to like donate it, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, I can give it like to kids and stuff and like at events, but it's like there's not that many opportunities for me to do that realistically. So I'm like, what do I do?
Yeah. Well, we were at PAX Unplugged last year. We opened up a bunch of stuff and I ran out of space because we had opened so much product. And there was also, I think, a new set had recently come out and we just went crazy. And then we were also buying stuff for our friends and taking that back. So our suitcases got very full very fast. Right. And so then I had like a bunch of bulk and they had like a learn to play area. And I went with my learn to play box and I was like, here you go.
Do with this as you will.
What is this? And I was like, I don't have room in my suitcase. It's mostly just a bunch of bulk, but I figured learn to play, new players, maybe they will want to do something with it.
So Kim, I did notice in your list you have 2 Enchanteds and 2 regulars. So this is like my all-time chase Enchanted. And I've had to buy or trade for all 4 of mine. And I just want to pull one so bad. Even though I still have 4 already, I want to pull one so bad. But I swear the foiled and the regular ones haunt me.
They mock her. It's quite impressive because even at one point, like I was like, me and my husband were like, okay, we got some Floodborn for something. Okay, if we open this card, it's going to Courtney. And we would open them up even with her, and it'd be like, nope, Cindy, foil Cindy. Cindy and a foil Cindy in the same pack.
Yeah, Bri and I played a pack rush at Continentals in Anaheim and got a Floodborn pack and opened it and we're like, Cindy, Cindy, Cindy.
You're just doing like a little chat on top.
Yeah.
Of like,
and it was literally back to back. It was the non-foil and foil.
Oh my God.
And I was like,
in the same pack. We were just like,
It haunts us. Oh, there's a Stout-Hearted.
Which I also love that card too.
Oh, but I hope the Cindy's get reprinted. It's just Cinderella's my favorite.
That's my problem probably whenever I didn't like Amber Steel as much, because every time I would play Amber Steel, I was like, okay, but I need at least one big Cindy in here.
Yeah, I tried really hard to get a Stout, like one of my DLC Stout-Hearted's in there, and I was like, she's too slow. She was fun in the mirrors because they would always shock people. And I was like, have fun getting rid of this. but it was just like, no.
You said the meta by you is very Steel Song heavy. Is it traditional Steel Song, or are you seeing the aggro build at all?
I feel like it's mostly traditional, but there's a good like amount of aggro in there. And then it leads to a lot of Ruby Sapphire because we put one account in it. So it's always this constant like cycle between the two. So I always get excited when I play against a different deck because I was like, oh my gosh, no more Ruby Sapphire, no more Amber Steel. Like,
your brain can get a little break.
My
nemesis.
Yeah, my arch nemesis. I was like, just don't pull 4 of them and we'll be good.
So this weekend I am going up to Arkansas and I'm playing in Inkclash, and I still have not decided what I'm playing.
Supposedly, we might can bully Mo into playing puppies. So that is my only hope, is that he actually shows up with puppies.
Oh my gosh. Puppies is pretty good, though.
I know.
I know. I'm a little afraid.
I have it built on
what
Dreamborn or
All right.
No, I built it for League yesterday, actually, and attempted to play it.
We have 2 beast packs left.
The beast packs are the best packs.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I left them.
Let's see.
Oh.
Ooh.
We'll take that. That's not bad.
We were at the mall and the Disney store in the mall. I was with my son. We were walking around.
Wait, hold up. You have a Disney store still at the mall?
Yeah, we do.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's like 20, 30 minutes from our house. It's amazing. They also have a Legoland. There's a Sea Life. There's a movie theater. It's like all right there. It's perfect for small children, for people that are in the DFW area.
I'm just mind blown by still having a Disney store.
Bri, it's funny that you say that because I think like 2 weekends ago, whenever Cameron and I went and got Japanese curry, we then went to the mall, and I have never I don't think the last time I saw a mall that crowded was like.
Did you go to the mall next to the Japanese curry place, or did you go to Grapevine?
No, the mall next to the Japanese.
Oh yeah, that mall is huge. There's also that's where the Pop Mart is at.
Yes,
that's also part of why it gets so busy, because that's the one where the only Pop Mart in Texas is at.
Our enchanted luck was not there.
Darn.
But
Melissa, I will not be going to Arkansas. I just saw it in the comments. I have it pulled up on my phone so I can look at the comments.
Yeah.
Attempt to respond to people.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it is.
Actually, it's right by the airport.
By the airport.
Yeah, it's actually right next to the airport. But fun story, we went to the Disney store. That's what I was going to talk about. Me and my son were walking around, and we go into the Disney store, and I'm like, oh, look at all the toys. Look at the cute little outfits, and like stuff that kids typically would love to look at. And then in the back corner, in this like little tiny section, there's like a Lorcana, and he goes, ooh, and he goes over to the Lorcana section and wants to look at that stuff. And then
we've trained him well.
We're looking around the wall from like it's all newer. It's all stuff that we didn't really need. It had like a bunch of
Jafar,
Azurite Sea, and like ones that we just were like, nah, we don't need any of that. So we leave, and then we're just doing laps around the airport because my husband and our friends are watching a movie, and we didn't have a babysitter, so I just had him. We were just walking around the mall while they were watching the movie, and we get back by the Disney store again, and he goes, "Go, Mama, go!" And so I was like, "All right, we'll go in again." And again, he went just straight back to the corner, go. And so we go back there, and I guess one of the workers in the back, after I'd been back there and someone was actually looking at the Lorcana stuff, he like went to look and see if they had any more in the back, and they had some Rise of the Floodborn starter.
Wow. Okay.
That had so much dust on them. They have been there for a while. And so we bought 2 of them. So I was like, oh, this is going to have our Enchanted Cinderella in it just because it's been sitting in a storage room for who knows how long. It did not, but it did have some foil Strength of the Raging Fires, which was not mad about. No. But it was very funny to me that my son was like so excited. My not even 2-year-old son was wanting cards and not caring at all about any other toy around him.
Oh,
he was just like cards. And I opened up the starter deck and I let him play with the starter deck cards. He's pulling them out. He's going, ooh. He's like, he's having a blast.
I figured I would share our lovely Fabled.
I love it. It's so pastel, very girly pop.
We will definitely share it after the stream so everybody can fill it out, what they think will be reprinted, what we'll get. This is the set 10 Goofy that we were talking about earlier a little bit. This is just wild.
I'm a problem.
I'm also intrigued on
not knowing what they're going to reprint makes him
nervous. Makes me nervous. And then I'm super excited to see what it's Goofy, the Emerald champion. So my assumption is that we'll see champions for every ink.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see what that turns out to be.
Also, if they do that and it's like all out of the same set, they all must be the Enchanteds. I am manifesting. It's like you can't do a theme like that throughout all the colors and not make them the Enchanted.
Yeah, I wonder if it'll be like the Fab 6 technically, because you would put Pluto in there for that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That would actually be perfect.
That would make sense.
Right, because you would have Goofy as Emerald, And then you have Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, and then you throw Pluto in there. You're fine. You get the Fab Six.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Well,
Easy peasy.
We are right at a little over an hour, so I want to thank you, Kim, for joining us tonight. It was a lot of fun to yap about your weekend, and congrats again on making top 8. Do you want to share where people can follow you?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Enchanted_Kim on Instagram. That's primarily where I post content. I mainly focus on what I call like the girly pop side of content, just like fashion and showing off like my competitive journey now, and also just showing off like the social play stuff I do. Just really focusing on the fun parts. And if I'm not on there, you can find me basically the same name on X and TikTok. And then I'm all over Discords. You just see me in there. I like to yap. That's my main thing. I like to yap everywhere.
I love that. Well, I appreciate you joining us tonight. I also appreciate everyone who stopped by and chatted with us. We always love a good Wednesday night for the girlies. I appreciate all the likes and follows and subscribes that everybody has been doing recently.
Super random, not to cut you off, but I realized when I was getting ready really quick before the stream, I have a like OG Incredibles friendship bracelet that I got, I think, in like Fort Worth.
Kirby!
Yes, I love that.
I don't remember who exactly I got this from. I just remember it was like the jerseys, and they were like, "Oh, like I feel like I recognize you from Instagram." And I'm like, "That's cool." Like you're so like we started chatting, and they were like, "Do you want a bracelet?" And I'm like, "I love bracelets, yes." And I just like today, as I was like getting ready before like hopping up on stream, I'm like, I have those bracelets still.
I love that. That's awesome to see.
I see Kirby in the chat being like, "That's
I was gonna say it's probably Kirby."
Yeah,
Kirby, I remember Kirby was literally posted up in a corner at a table, and she was like, "I dropped. I'm gonna just make bracelets."
I love that. Yeah, so I still have it. I'll like rotate them with the different bracelets I have. So it's like maybe I'll wear it next time I go to a DLC if you guys are there. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and I also wanted to shout out, I know that we've had quite a few people recently purchase some merch from us because we posted it this week. So I appreciate the support. It's always fun to see people repping us. And yeah,
excited.
We'll see y'all next Wednesday.
And I saw the hat on someone that we know. I was like, "Hey,
I can see that."
Like my husband, like, look.
I need to get one of those shirts later because they're purple and I love purple.
Everything purple is great.
Yeah, we really are going into the girly vibe as well with our merch, and we just are slowly. Everybody will probably notice this week we've like a new background, and I was like, I feel like people are going to think it's because of Fabled and Jafar ending, but we're trying the pastel vibes. I
like it. I'm getting very much
just like, the girly pop.
Yeah, I'm getting very much like the like, oh, this is like a fun like slumber party vibe chatter. Like I love it.
Exactly. It's supposed to be just hang out and just a little chit chat.
Yeah, I love it. That's great.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate everyone tuning in. Thanks for watching. If you're watching on YouTube after the fact, and I will talk to you all next week. Bye, y'all.